There, it's recording. Hello, friends and fans of Rock and Roll Love Palace. This is not going to be a music video. Some of y'all who subscribe and come here know the other day, yesterday, I wrote a song called Mama. And it's about my mother. Uh, Short, sweet, to the point, like most of my stuff here on YouTube and other social platforms. Well, anyway, uh, my mom, we had to put mama in a nursing home. She couldn't take care of herself. I can't lift her. My back with this herniated disc, I can't do it. She can't walk. She can't take care of herself. She's not all there in her, and she's not in her right mind. She come out of her. She started going nuts. Uh, Initially because of a UTI, a urinary tract infection that went septic, and it went in on her kidneys. She almost died, but after that, she was not the same upstairs and mentally at all. Anyway, last night got a phone call. They had moved her out of the facility into a mental hospital because of her. She's gone violent. Uh, these were her words and her actions. She was, because I had bought her, I'd go buy her a case of Cokes like once a week, and for her to drink. Well, she was taking them and throwing them and hitting people with them, and most of the aides and the nurses at this facility are black, and she was screaming nigger at the top of her voice, from what I understand. She is 82 years old and full of hell, man. She's always been, I hate to say this about my mother, because it's going to sound terrible, but Mama done the best she could with what she had. But she was raised in an abusive home by a drunken, speed addicted mother, my grandmother. Uh, that old there's a country song that speaks about someone burning out on bourbon and speed. Now, you could have replaced it with her, and it'd been that's what she did. Ate speed and drank bourbon. But up until she died, as I understand it, she didn't want anything to do with me and my brother or my mother for whatever her screwed up reasons. But at any rate, my mom had come from an abusive home, and it was raised literally for real as a real live hillbilly. Like you hear about, not necessarily walking both ways up a mountain barefoot in the snow to go to school, but ducking revenuers, uh, moonshining, uh, just all kinds of, every hillbilly activity you can think of. That's what she did. That's where she was raised. Uh, she taught me how to run off black bears. She learned from her grandpa, my great grandfather. Uh, he what you do, uh, you get two rocks and you start beating them together, and they'll run off every damn time. I did it in Colorado years ago. But at any rate, that's what's going on. I don't know. I doubt she's going to ever come back into her right mind. That's I don't believe that's how that happens. But I used, believe it or not, I worked as a nurse's aide in a nursing home facility, and I worked three bad ones and one really good one. And what I mean by bad, it was the people that worked there. They were jaded to the residents' needs and emotional feelings. Uh, One of the things that always stuck with me when I went to nurses aid school was, the instructor asked this question to the whole class. She said, how would, if it was you laying there, how would you want to be treated? You know, and that always stuck with me. So every time I went in there to feed them, to change them, to get them up, to go shower them, or go in there and give them a bath because they couldn't be moved for whatever the reason, I always try to treat folks like that when I worked in that profession, and I would still now, believe it or not. I treat them with some kindness and compassion, man. I mean, some of most of those folks, like if they have stroke victims, they ain't never getting out of there. I mean, I don't know. I'd want, if I was in something like that, I'd want to be drugged. I mean, fucked up, out of my fucking skull, don't know who I am or where I'm at, than live consciously like that. And I'm going to tell you why. There was this stroke victim, and I cannot remember the name of what they call it when your muscles draw up from lack of use. Here, get over here. But he was all up, bent up like this, and his legs were too. Had multiple operations from bed sores because he was bedridden. There was no getting out of that bed, and except when they got him in the shower chair, and sometimes not even the shower chair. They mostly would just put him on a stretcher, as I recall. Well, anyway, I was having to feed him, and because he couldn't feed himself. In fact, I was feeding him and 6 other people, so I was kind of hopping from room to room to room real fast as I humanly possibly could, because I was the only 8 on that floor. And me and him got to talking one time, because he was in his right mind, or as in his right mind as he possibly could be in that situation. And I got to talking with him, and I asked him, I said, what happened? How did you get like you are? And he told me he'd had a stroke. Now, I knew that, but I was kind of testing him to see where he was mentally. That's one of the things you should always try to do. So you know what to do, what to say, and so on and so forth. Well, anyhow, in the course of the conversation, I asked him how long it had been. Now, that I did not have, I did not remember, and I didn't remember seeing that in the charts. Now, I would only see the charts if the nurse opened them up and let me look. I never actively sought charts out, per se. I could do that to see what I was up against. But at any rate, I asked him how long he'd been like that. And he said, he first asked me a question. He said, what year was it? And I said, it's 2001. And this is how long ago it was, 24 years ago now. I'm sure he's done passed on. At least, God, I hope so. And he looked me dead in the eye. He said, since 1989. Think about that. Since 1989, he'd been laying in a bed, slowly deteriorating. No TV, no family. Or if he had family, they didn't give a shit. They didn't come up there. I know nursing home life ain't no fun. The only one I worked at was in Webster, Texas. It was brand new. And I worked a rehab hall, which meant some of those people were going to come home or go home, stroke victims mainly. A couple of car crash victims, but not too many. That was a good facility. But those others, man. There was one, I was pushing this guy back. The ambulance had dropped him off from dialysis. I was taking him back to his room and picking up a couple of sandwiches and some chips for him out of the kitchen, because after people have dialysis, they're real hungry. And just as I got the food, come back out there to the main hallway, because the door was like right there. It was wide open, and he wasn't going to get out of the chair. He didn't have legs. And I put, and he was more or less in his right mind. But he held the food in his lap. I started pushing the wheelchair, and this big-ass rat, man, ran between my legs and his wheelchair down the hall. And I didn't say nothing. I was like in shock. I said, I can't believe I just seen a rat in the nursing home facility run down the hall like that. And he said, and he popped off and said, yeah, I seen that son of a bitch too. But I digressed a bit about talking about nursing homes, but is apparently mama is never gonna be able to be coming home, and not because we don't want her here, but because she's fried, man. I mean, I feel just about as helpless right now as I did about when Debbie got sick and died. I mean, now Debbie, she had cancer and lung cancer, and it was a total different deal there compared to my mother's. My mother's just age, catching up with her, you know, like it is me with my damn back. I still can't believe that, but so that's what's going on with my mother. Uh, I, what can you do? I mean, I don't have magical powers. I'm not God. You know, if I was, I'd make it all better in a blink of an eye. You know, but I guess to a large degree, if not a complete, this is her natural progression of her stage in life. I guess, you know, it's not like I'm trying to rationalize it, and I don't know how you can rationalize something like that. It's just like it's a completely different person. You know, it's almost like a completely different person. Not completely, but not far from it. Well, I guess that's really all I needed to say. So, I'm gonna be making some music. Out of pain comes creativity. I went live yesterday evening, but I guess because of the Super Bowl, I didn't watch it myself. But I'm probably gonna go live again and make a couple, one or two tunes, and post them if you're interested. But that's what's going on with my life. It's just, I don't know, man. Just what can you do? But grin and bear it. I don't know. I have no else. I don't know what else to do. Uh, I just wish, you know, and this is going to sound bad. I'd rather see her just pass away than suffer like she's doing, you know. And, you know, I'm not going to go in there and hold her pillow over her face or nothing like that, you know. But, I mean, I'm talking about naturally, you know. I want her to be back whole again. Even though she was an asshole most of my life, I still don't want to see her sick and crippled up and in pain, you know, physically and or mentally. You know, I'm not a sadist, but, you know, except when I put on my Confederate flag cape and Nazi uniform, like I've been told that I do on this channel. But at any rate, like I said, that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm a little bit at a loss. More what, you know. I just, I'm not washing my hands, but it's like there's no way to jump in that situation. Because I don't know what to do other than, like I said, grin and bear it and just go as it comes, I guess. Anybody got any other suggestions other than counseling? Because I don't buy into long-winded monologuist. But I mean, I guess therapy can be good for someone that really wants it, but it just seems to me you can figure it out yourself, what's going on within yourself. But that's just me. I mean, unless you're just really out there, I guess. I don't know. I've never been. Only time I was really ever out there was on drugs, but I don't do drugs anymore. So, but anyway, that's it. I'll upload this and let me know, folks.